Welcome back again. In the last episode we discussed book selection. Today we are going to begin with classroom management. This is very important to having an orderly class. No matter what anyone tells you, you will learn 90% of teaching inside the classroom. Not that this is not important. You will need to understand everything discussed here, but there is no one way that truly works. What works for one class will not work for another. In every class, a teacher, especially on the first day, will encounter problems. These problems can be easy to overcome and manageable through different styles of teaching along with activities that will encourage students to learn. Some students are either bored or forced to attend school by their parents. In order to compensate, these students will either ignore the teacher or become problem students. These students may not do their homework, miss class, and barely, if they do, pass the class. There are two ways a teacher can react to students who have difficulties. One is to be proactive and show a student the lesson with positive reinforcement. A second way is a reactive style, teaching the student, as the problems become known, in an aggressive manner. Let's look at an example of a classroom lesson. You write on the board, "Are the restaurants any good?" The lesson you are teaching for the day is a grammar point for a speaking lesson. You write the dialogue on the board to show the students how to speak the dialogue and explain to them what it means and when to use it. A student pulls out a pocket dictionary and after a few seconds he raises his hand and asks you, "What part of speech is the word any?" There is no reason whatsoever for the student to ask you this question, as you is teaching conversation and they had just used a pocket dictionary to find the answer. You can respond as follows. First, utilizing a reactive response. You get angry and answer immediately. It is an adverb and go into details about the sentence. Structure and deviate from the lesson plan. You can get angry with the student and ask him why he or she asked an irrelevant question. Plus, the fact he or she has the answer on their pocket dictionary. You then tell the student not to do it again. Many students may ask you an irrelevant question not to find more about grammar, but to see if you in fact know the grammar yourself. It is better to use a proactive way in this situation, so the student will discover that if he or she asks a question they will have to find the answer for themselves in front of the class. They won't be able to embarrass the teacher if they don't know the answer to the question. It should go something like this. Student, what part of speech is the word any? Teacher, that's a good question. Let's look at the sentence. Now what's the subject in this sentence? Student, restaurant. Teacher, what are the verbs? Student, are, good. Teacher, very good, so then the only word left is any. Can you tell me what any is referring to? Student, the word good. Teacher, so if the word good is a verb, what type of word describes a verb? Student, an adverb. Teacher, very good, there is your answer. Other students may want you to tell the answer. In this case, explain again to them that they need to work out sentence structure on their own, because it is better if they can learn it, so when they take tests they can pass it with confidence. Classroom rules. Classroom rules are very important. The first day of class will set the tone for the class for the rest of the term. If you explain the rules to them in a handout, you are more apt to have the class understand them and follow them. My rules for a class are as follows. Many teachers don't like these rules, so I will explain the reason for them as I tell them. Don't ask for permission to go to the bathroom. It bothers the class to be interrupted. Don't apologize for being late. Sit down and find the page we are on. This stops conversations. Make all efforts not to be late for class. Disrupts flow of class instruction. If you are going to be absent, notify me first. Develop responsibility. Don't use cell phones in class. Go outside. I don't like it, but some students won't. Turn off their phone. After explaining the rules, I ask the students if they have any questions. After you explain the rules, post them on a wall so the students can read them daily and understand them. Students now cannot tell you that they did not know that they broke a rule because they were given the rules and they are posted on the wall. As long as you have given the rules on paper to the students, posted them and follow up on punishments when the students misbehave. You should have an orderly classroom. Many teachers punish some students and don't bother punishing other students. When this happens, it renders all their rules null and void. The rules you posted now have no meaning. Make the rules and punishments clear if they violate them. Punishments for violating rules. Warning. Separation. Loss of points to final grade. Conversation with parents. Failure. Stick with these rules and the punishments. Once you have established you will not punish students for violating the rules now become obsolete. Likewise, don't punish some students while allowing other students to break the rules. The students will lose all respect for you if you do so. Don't reward for misbehaving. The worst form of discipline is rewarding students if they behave. For example, if this class behaves, I will buy you a pizza. This is a bad way to try and obtain good discipline because the students will discover that if they misbehave they will be rewarded. So if they want a pizza, they will misbehave in hopes of getting one. I once had a class in Korea where a few students always talked during the lesson. I made a bet if they did not talk the rest of the lesson, 50 minutes, I would buy them a pizza. They did. I bought the pizza, and while they ate it, not one student thanked me. A few classes later, they started acting up again. I told them to stop talking and one girl looked at me defiantly and said, "Buy us a pizza and we will." I finally changed tactics and rewarded a pizza party to one class that studied and were not disruptive. I kept a daily tally and all the classes could see the daily results. The rowdy classes were on the bottom of the list consistently and never changed until 3 to 4 months down the road when they discovered that the classes that were good won the pizza contest and they always had to hear about it. In conclusion, if you want to reward classes, make it a surprise. Do not reward a student or class to prevent them from being unruly. Well, that is all the time we have for today. Come back next time and we will go into further ways to have a peaceful classroom.